So what's the first thing you think of when you think Team Fortress 2? Is it the gameplay? Is it the characters? Or is it the fact that strange weapons in this game have a funny number that counts up? I think that's the one that people think of. Strange weapons are a neat concept. You pay a price varying from small to large in order for a weapon that counts how many kills you get. Other than that, there are no differences between a strange weapon and a normal weapon. Now, other than that, you can get strange parts to put on the strange weapons to count other miscellaneous things, such as players hit, players dominated, taunt kills, you name it, there's probably a strange part for it. There are 52 strange parts in total, which is a higher number than 51, believe it or not. And since this is the most interesting topic about Team Fortress 2 I can find, I'm going to put every single strange part into a tier list, but we should probably set some ground rules first. In order to rank the strange parts, we have to rank them by a few measures. Number 1, how applicable is the strange part? Number 2, how cool the strange part is. Some strange parts are better for some weapons than others, and some can't be applied to all weapons. Now with all that laid out, not only is this list my personal opinion, but it's also objectively correct as well. So let's get started. Killing an airborne enemy is a pretty cool stat to keep track of. It's very good to put on any projectile weapon, such as the rocket launchers and grenade launchers, but can really be put on any weapon since any weapon does have the ability to kill an airborne target. Though some weapons don't really have the ease of killing someone midair, such as all melees and any short range weapon like the flamethrower, but it's still a solid strange part. A tier. Cloak spies are everywhere in Team Fortress 2. A lot of people pick the class to try to get some cool kills while behind the line. While you could put it on any weapon, the only one I would see is the Pyro's weapon since he's the direct counter to spy. Not a terrible strange part, but nothing to write home about. C tier. Revenge kills are a fun stat to keep track of. If you suck at the game, why would I want people knowing how many people dominated me? I don't want people knowing that I'm actually bad at the game. I want people to think I'm good when they see my Hail Zone weapons. F tier. If you want people to actually think you're good at the game, you should have the domination kill stat on your weapons. No one thinks revenge kills are cool, it's way more awesome to see how many other gamers you're better than. S tier. Now let's say you want to hunt down all those pesky rich players with unusual hats and you wanted to show them how it's done. Well, with this stat for killing players with unusual hats, you could show off how much of a hitman you are to rich people. It's such a weird, strange part. Some might even call it strange. B tier. Medics with Uber killed is a good one, only problem is it's hard to get. Mainly due to the fact that if you do 1 damage with a medic with Uber ready, they right click as fast as humanly possible. Really the people who are going to use this strange part are snipers, but when you see that +2 pop up, it's one of the best dopamine rushes in this entire game. A tier. Underwater kills. So there aren't many maps with enough water to really swim in, and the few that do, you're most likely not going to be fighting underwater unless you're playing Pyro Shark. Really the only weapon I could even think to use this part on is the Neon Annihilator, which is already not a good weapon. F tier. Since I'm a big famous YouTuber, I always get the medics pocketing me mid-game, so me getting kills while Uber charged is very easy. However, if you're not part of the elite TF tuber scene like I am, you're not getting any Ubers. Sorry about that, buddy. Guess that leaves all the medics for me in my giant TF tuber mansion. In fact, can we get a montage of me killing people with an Uber charge? Okay, maybe I'm not that famous. A tier. Projectiles Reflected is a nice stat for pyro mains to keep track of how many people they kill for reflex. Except that isn't what it is at all, and it's just counting how many projectiles you actually reflected. Such a weird stat to not keep track of kills. I'd rather know how many soldiers or demos I destroyed, rather than projectiles I just reflected. C tier. Low health kills really shows off how much of a clutch gamer you are. Getting kills while sitting at 10 health and being able to dodge the enemy's attacks is a skill in its own right, and it's fun getting some good kills while there's some pressure on. A tier. Players hit. While showing off how many kills you get, you can also show off how many players you've hit as well. You can go around showing off how many people got away from the grips of death all because you missed. But it is easy to farm and rack up points for, which is a real important part of this game. A tier. Now if you want a better version of the last strange part, damage dealt is your friend. Counting off how much damage you've done over time is not only fun, but also insane how big the number can get quickly, especially for classes that can dish out high amounts of damage. S tier. Gib kills are a fun concept. When you kill someone with an explosive weapon, you can perform a Gib kill, which explodes their body into several chunks. You can get this on many weapons, but in my honest opinion, even though blowing somebody up is really fun, you miss out on the funny ragdolls, which is something I'd rather keep track of, but you can't. B tier. Also make funny ragdoll strange parts. I feel like the strange part market would go up with that one being in rotation. Crit kills is a fun stat, showing off any crit kills you get. It's a great way to show off how many kills you got when you did 3 times the amount of damage you normally do, and sometimes it's by random chance. B tier. Point blank kills counts off how many kills you got when you're right in front of somebody. Now this may not be the best for some items such as any explosive, but it's a great stat to put on your shotguns to count off meat shot kills. B tier. Now, kills during victory time is a great stat, because it shows off how much I win. This is the most important thing in my life, because I put all my self-worth into a 15-year-old FPS game that hasn't been updated in years. A tier. Killstreaks ended is a great stat for any weapon, showing off that not only did you kill someone, but you ended their kill streak as well. I can't think of many other better strange parts, because showing off how much of a better gamer I am than someone else fills me with so much joy. Instant S tier. Burning enemy players is weird. Most items don't really have a need to track this other than the extinguisher and sun on a stick, because they directly benefit from attacking burning players. The only problem is, one of the two items I just said was utter dog shit. D tier. Kills during Halloween is another almost pointless stat. Like, why would I want to keep track of kills during a mode that happens once out of the year when they could be holding a different strange part? D tier. Full moon kills is the same thing as before, except there's no Halloween maps or spells. F tier. Allied healing done is a pretty good stat for any of the Uber guns or various items that give health. If you want people to know how much of a team player you are, you can put this stat on your weapons. B tier. In the same vein, we have Sappers Destroyed. While on a smaller amount of items, the strange part is equally as good on the wrenches and pyro items that take off sappers. B tier. Allies Extinguished is a good stat to keep track of for the items that allow you to do this, mainly the flamethrowers and throwable items like Sandwich and Girardi. B tier. Headshot kills is an absolute classic for the sniper, and the one spy gun that has it as well. You'll be hard pressed to find a sniper that has a strange part without this on it. It's the whole essence of the class to go for the head, so it makes sense to make a strange part for it. A tier. While posthumous kills isn't horrible, it isn't too often you'll get a kill while you're dead. Sometimes you'll find a few pop-ups in the kill feed alerting you that you killed an enemy after death. Not the best, but you could definitely go for worse. C tier. Buildings Destroyed is a pretty good stat for some of the classes in the game. The other classes, they're not really built for dealing with sentries, but other than that, this isn't a terrible part to put on your weapons. B tier. Taunt kills is a classic. I want people seeing that I killed someone when I wasn't even playing the game properly. I want people knowing how many kills I got with a guitar, finger guns, farting, S tier. Long distance kills is not something I care too much about. Sure, it's fine on snipers, but in any other class, it's not something I would really care about keeping track of. D tier. Jumping around the map at high speeds is fun, but what's even better is jumping around while killing the enemy team as well. While being held back by only being able to be used on a few items, it's still fun jumping around the maps and killing a guy while going a million miles per hour. A tier. Have you ever thought about how many defenders you killed? No? Well, you can keep track of that now. While not being terrible for really any weapon, it gets bogged down by the fact that you can't use it half the time. C tier. Taunting players killed is a two-way street. Are you killing an enemy that taunted after getting a sick air shot? That's a fair kill. Are you killing somebody when they're taunting with someone else? If so, your house should be firebombed for committing such a terrible act against mankind. D tier. Full health kills is a fun one to keep track of, showing off how many people you completely avoided while fighting, or those you attacked while you were behind them. Still an interesting stat. B tier. Non-crit or mini-crit kills shows off how many 100% legit kills you got while using the item. It shows that even in a one-on-one incident, you were better than the other player that amount of times. B tier. Oh yeah, while we're at it, we have a strange part for killing every class in the game. How fun. Let's do this quickly. Medic goes in A tier due to the fact that getting a med pick is the most important one. Any weapon can have this stat without it being unreasonable, so it's going in A tier. Snipers killed can also go in A tier. While it being way more commonly found in sniper rifles, it's still a good stat to have on your weapon to show off you're getting important targets for your team. A tier. Scout, Soldier, Pyro, Demo, Heavy, NG, and Spy go in D tier. Bold decision, but other than direct counters, I don't see why I would want to keep track on how many of a specific class I killed. And now a word from our sponsor. Is what I would say if there was a sponsor. For those of you who like to play MVM, there are strange parts for you as well. You can keep track of every single robot you kill while trying to get Australian weapons before you get a killstreak kit for a gun that you do not have. However, since I rarely ever play MVM, it's not a real use to me. If you like it, more power to you, but I don't play enough to put any MVM based parts on my guns. C tier. Now these other strange parts for MVM, I'm just gonna put them in F tier. Sorry to all the MVM players out there. I only play this game mode occasionally, and these stranges don't really have a use for me. Like seriously, robots killed during Halloween, who gives a shit? Now you may think that's it, but there are 4 bonus strange parts. Yep, these items can be applied to any strange cosmetic, so that's a big boost to their ratings. Freeze cam appearances is a fun but weird one to keep track of. I'm not sure if it only counts your freeze cams or just any appearance that you make in a freeze cam, but it's still a fun one to use. B tier. Fire survived is kind of a pointless one to wonder about. I don't think surviving being on fire is enough to even keep track of. D tier. Assist is a great one to keep track of since it goes off your gameplay and keeps track of something that you're actively doing. A tier. Kills is the best strange cosmetic part, and it's not a contest. It's the best one to wonder about and keep track of. S tier. And with that, the most perfect tier list that anybody could have created has just been created. I know I shouldn't draw perfection on humanity as a whole, but sometimes you just gotta do it. So I hope this vid holds you over for the next one. I just saw a weird little segment of TF2 that no one really ever talks about or pays attention to, and I thought it would be funny to keep track of it all. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you guys wait around for the next one, and see you later.